Man, back in the day, like in the early '90s. So go back to the '92. The whole filming of building Kamala's casket.
Yeah.
We shot all those vignettes. I bet we shot 5-6 weeks of vignettes of the Undertaker building Kamala's casket, I think, which was going to be for SummerSlam or whatever it was. Wow. It's the middle of winter. And so that iteration of the Undertaker was the black spandex tights, wrestling boots, the cloth shirt, and the leather gloves. It's 28 degrees outside. Now I'm in the blacksmith shop of I don't even remember where we were at, but they had the fire raging in there. But like between takes, when you weren't doing something, you can see as I'm talking and Paul's talking, you can see our breath. That's how cold it was. It was absolutely miserable. And sometimes, so we shot 5-6 weeks of that. So they had to, we would finish one and then they'd have to reset the lighting and microphones and everything else for whatever the next shot was going to be. Back then, they didn't have trailers or craft services or any of that. I had to go sit in Bruce Pritchard's car and crank up the heat and just wait, right? And he had a small car, right? So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm miserable. And then you have to get out of the heat and go back in through the cold.
That's even worse. Yeah.
That one was bad. But the one that we shot, so at, it was the Royal Rumble, I think, 93, when I wrestled Yokozuna. I may be wrong. I think it was the Rumble. Where all the guys came down and attacked me.
Yeah.
And then they ended up, I fought 10 guys and they finally get me down and they put me in the casket that I was supposed to put Yokozuna in. And then that's where my spirit ascended out of the building. It was really ahead of its time, I think, some of the cool stuff that we did. But that night, like after the show, Grant, it's January, and we're somewhere up in the Northeast. I don't remember where that. Please don't get on me because I don't remember where it was at. And if I got the paper wrong, excuse me for that too. But I do remember it's January.
Yeah,
and we're in the cemetery, and there's snow, and it's like flesh freezing chill factor. In the air.
Jeez.
And again, there's no trailer for me. There's no anything. And there's no fire. I'm basically walking through the cemetery, 2 feet of snow maybe, and trying to do these scenes and walk through the snow and then deliver my lines. And just praying that I did it right the first time so I could go sit back in the car again and thaw out. It was so miserable. And we went, I bet, until 2-3 in the morning. Maybe even later than that, because I didn't get out of the arena until late. And then we went right to the cemetery to film. And so, and it's, I mean, those are legit cemeteries. I don't know.
Did y'all rent them out, or was it just like we're gonna roll up and just walk
they
out?
were just they would find people that were like fans, and then they would let us come in and we would dig a hole somewhere, and it was crazy, man. It was like
hook them up with some tickets. And,
obviously we never shot the gate or the name of the cemetery, but I think people might have, if they'd have known, they would have been. I don't know, what are they going to do? They can't take them back, but I was like, oh, but yeah, I mean, some really, really big old cemeteries up in the Northeast, and I mean, just crammed full of dead people. But it was those conditions in the early years. Like I said, you always were in character. You're always in gimmick, and believe me, spandex is not the material to be walking around a cemetery in January in Connecticut or the Northeast.
There were no like what we take
hot pockets.
Hot
pockets.
When we go hunting.
Nothing.
We put those in our hands and stuff in our
holy
in our
crap!
hoodie.
What I'd give for a thermal pair of bibs or something, but it was so cold and miserable. You know when you see it months later, you see the final product. You're proud. Like, dang, that's that's really good stuff. But man, in the process, forget about it, man. It sucked.
Yeah, I mean, and you're trying to make it as realistic as possible. So like the Hollywood stuff and everything, you don't want to really do, but you like being out there in the actual real cemetery and everything else. I mean, that's
and a little tidbit that I forgot too is like, my hair was always wet. It was part of the look, right? It was
so you'd have to wet it before you'd go.
I had to start breaking ice
and
crap out of my hair. It was so cold. Oh, it was. Oh. And poor Bruce had to. He got all my frustration. I know. We're gonna get one more shot. We'll get, and then be 3 shots later. I'm like,
but then let's think about this too. You probably had to leave from there and drive to the next city to work the next night.
That particular one, the one after the Royal Rumble,
you didn't have to.
I didn't have to because I was taking time off.
Yeah.
I had to take time off, because my body needed to heal itself. Is why I was taking time off.
You were doing cryotherapy before.
Yeah, that was it's cut a lot of my inflammation out just walking around the cemetery full of snow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, those vignettes were cool though. I mean, as a kid, it'd scare you looking at them.
Vital part of the character development were those vignettes. The vignettes really set the table for who that character was. I mean, I could walk out in front of a crowd, obviously, and be ominous and scary, but those vignettes is what give the roots to the character. And
were those like really the first vignettes that were happening outside of, like, on location somewhere? Or some of the first, at least?
I remember way back in the day, like, they did some really hokey stuff with Gene Okerlund and George the Animal Steel and Savage.
Yeah, they would go to Savage's house.
Yeah, they would do stuff. But outside in the real elements, the stuff that we were doing, man, it was creepy. Like I said, because not only is it nighttime, there's snow on the ground, there's fog everywhere, and then anytime you delivered a line, the fog of your breath just made it that much more scary and ominous, and it was just the whole mood, and the fact that you're physically miserable. Seriously, it helps with the mindset. Like, you're physically miserable, so it was easy for me to tap into
that
character even more.
It'd have been hard for I guess we'll call it like a Hulk Hogan, especially back then. Like, it's supposed to be this positive. Let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah.
Throwing him in those elements, like, that's not not going to work very well.
No, brother. Brother is going. I need to go back to Tampa, brother.
I went to brother. We're going to get on a plane.
We need to get to the beach.
I'm going to get to the beach and cut my promo. That's what I'm cutting my promo.
Yeah, he was a little. Maybe I guess it was a little smarter. choosing the musclehead gimmick over the dead man gimmick. Right?
Maybe you should have thought about that a little bit more before you said yes to the Undertaker.
Yeah,
right?
no, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change a thing. But those vignettes, they were miserable to do, but they were so rewarding.
It is something that I feel like people ask about the vignettes a lot, especially the cemetery vignettes, because and that means that they stuck with people, versus a lot of the other ones that. Whatever.
They don't leave you with anything. Yeah. There were people, and I still get questions. Yeah, too. Like, when I do a signing, somebody will randomly hit me up. Hey, do you still have Kamala's coffin you built? I got the blueprints. I actually have the blueprints that
You do have the
I
blueprints?
have the blueprints of it framed that I somewhere in storage somewhere.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah, that'll be worth some ching one day.